Good morning. Today I have a full body workout for you. It's only 45 minutes, so if I was scheduling this with a class name, I would call it an express workout. Very light, very gentle, but it gets through the whole body from the tips of your toes all the way to your neck, all the way to your fingers. We do some Surya Namaskar A, so aka sun salutations. Really excellent sequence to know if you're just starting out in yoga. So we do 4 of those at the beginning, nice and gentle with modifications available throughout. Yeah, then we take it easy pretty much. We do those 4 sun salutations and then we just kind of take it easy. So again, nothing too crazy. We're starting out gentle, me and you together. Have to say I ached for a few days after this one, but in a really lovely good way. Our collective class intention to focus on today is ahimsa, which is non-violence in thought, speech and action. So however you go about practicing your yoga today, make sure that you are speaking to yourself as if you were speaking to your very best friend who you love dearly. Mwah. And subscribe, share to your friends. I do yoga for singers and singing for yogis, but it's for all really. Anyone who needs a confidence boost, self-esteem boost, or just focus on their breathing and to maybe even focus on music, tell your friends. Tell them all. Hello everyone, welcome to Glow Up with Alex. This is our second yoga practice together. How exciting is that? Today we're going to start standing, so you want to find a nice space at the top of your mat. You want to feel all 4 corners of your feet connecting to the ground. If you can, try and get your big toe mounds together with your heels apart. That is perfect. Maybe have your knees together, maybe not. Maybe your thighs touch, maybe they don't. And just take a big deep breath and start to become accustomed with the stillness. Start to activate your hands, perhaps turn your palms forwards and backwards, and continue to turn your palms forwards and backwards, just warming up the wrists, warming up your arm sockets. And then really slowly start to get your elbows involved. So maybe bring a little bend in your elbows, externally rotate. Perfect. Keep your hands nice and activated, your fingers nice and long. Get your shoulders involved now, backs of your shoulders. Start to bring your hands more up towards being in line with your shoulders here. Keep flipping the palms up and down. And now just bring them to stillness so that you're standing in this perfect T shape, palms facing down towards the ground. Pay attention to your breath. Start to roll your shoulders, keep pressing down into the ground, keep growing up towards the sky. Keep rolling your shoulders. Face the palms up towards the sky now. And we're just going to start to lift our arms up above our head. Catch a prayer above our head. You can't see, I cut that off accidentally. And then bring that prayer all the way down your midline and just hold it until you get all the way to the bottom, and then release it. And then we're going to inhale our arms up again. Fingers nice and activated, legs nice and strong, core tucked in, all the way up again. Catch the prayer above your head, really start to extend, and then we're going to bring that prayer down in front of our body, and we're just going to bend down into really gentle chair posture. Notice if you go over to one side like I do, hold that prayer posture in your heart center, perhaps touch your sternum. And now we're going to return to that typewriter position we talked about before. So really keep your forearms parallel to the ground and slide your prayer across over in front of one shoulder and then the other shoulder. Really starting to open up underneath our arms. And now we're going to do some wrist opening. So turn your prayer down towards the ground and up towards yourself. Really good if you're on your phone a lot, or if you're typing at a computer a lot, which I think is all of us right now, isn't it? And we're just going to return to that chair posture once more. Tummy in, back flat, not arching the back. And all we're doing here is we're just inhaling our arms all the way up to the sky, catching the prayer, then bringing it back down to our heart center whilst bending our knees into our nice easy chair posture. This isn't too challenging, this one, and we're just doing it a few times just to warm up the legs, to get some fire starting to move through our legs. Inhale and start to bring slight back bend into it. Support yourself using your hands on your lower back, and then take it into a forward fold, really gentle, bent legged forward fold, so you can get the backs of your hands down onto the mat. Really want to think about folding from our hips, not from our waist here. So lower abdomen should be making contact with your thighs. Get that prayer shape again, and we're just going to put it behind our back. Lovely. Hands down by your sides, prayer into the heart center once more. Okay, now we're going to start to open up the space behind our shoulders, just going into this simple stretch that I'm sure we all have done in PE. Just taking one arm up and into the other, pulling our shoulder across. Focusing on our breath the whole time. Come back to that reset position, palms facing down towards the sky, towards the floor, sorry. And then now we're going to take the left arm, bend it up, right arm across the body. Put quite a lot of pressure into our left arm, so we're bringing it more towards our face so that we really get a nice opening into the back of that right shoulder. Good, now release, come back to that reset posture. Now right arm inside of left arm. Left arm inside of right arm, sorry, it's a confusing one, isn't it? Garudasana, eagle arms. Instead of the Garudasana arms, you can just continue on with the nice basic PE stretch we were doing before, where just the right arm comes in front of the shoulders and the left arm grips it up. Good. Be comfortable in the stillness here. Lovely. Now release. Now cross the right arm over the left. Garudasana arms. Try to lift the elbows up so they come in line with your face, in front of your nose. That's the goal. Now let's reset. Find your Tadasana, find your mountain pose. Become really, really nice and comfortable with your feet, and look over your right shoulder. And look over your left shoulder, not too far. Shoulder once again. Keep your hands nice and activated. Keep your legs nice and activated. And left shoulder. Now we're just going to let our head drop and roll over to the right shoulder. And let it roll all the way back over to the left shoulder. Hands still nice and activated. Feet and legs still nice and activated. Now arms all the way up to the sky. Catch a prayer above your head and quickly let it go, and bring your arms back down to the side. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, arms down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Exhale, bring your prayer all the way down to heart center, forearms nice and parallel to the ground, activate your biceps. And now breathe it all out with that lion breath like we did last time. Stick your tongue out, get it all the way down to your chin, and breathe it all the way out. Inhale, lion breath again, second round. Inhale, third round, let it all out, let all of those negative energies out. Lovely. Good job, everyone. Push the prayer away from you. Activate your fingers, find that Tadasana pose once more. Mountain posture. Right, let's come to the top of our mats. Let's start our rounds of Surya Namaskar A, or otherwise known as sun salutations. Perhaps bring your prayer up to your third eye, set an intention for your practice, for the movement part of your practice. So would you like to think about perhaps sending out the energy that you create to someone that might need it? Do you want to have a little listen to your own inner narrative and observe yourself? But just for now, we're going to inhale our arms up, exhale, come down to that really comfortable forward fold once more. Inhale, arms up, find somewhere along the length of your legs so that you can get a nice flat back. Exhale, come down to the ground. Come down into a low lunge posture. You can keep your knee lifted or you can put it down onto the ground. And we're going to step our right foot back first. And we're just simply letting the right side of our front body open up. Either have your eyes closed or have your drishti point at your left foot. Now take the left leg back to join the right and lower yourself down, knees, chest, chin, slide yourself forwards. Inhale, come up to a baby cobra. Keep your legs nice and active, keep your back nice and engaged, lower abdomen nice and engaged as well. But you want to feel like you could lift your hands off of the mat and it would make no difference because you're holding yourself up with your core muscles. Inhale, push yourself all the way back to this active child's pose. Flip your toes over so that you've got the pads of your feet on the bottom of the mat and you're starting to feel a real gentle opening on the bottoms of your feet. Anchor down your hands so that you feel like you've got some resistance to pull away from, to really open up the underneath of your armpits, your intercostal muscles running down your ribs. Your biceps, your triceps, and your forearms and your wrists will all be getting something really, really lovely and nourishing and opening from this posture. Inhale, take a look up in between your hands, take the weight forwards and come all the way up onto your tiptoes and really gently kitty cat walk all the way to the top of your mat so your feet meet your hands. Plant your feet, take your head down into somewhere so you can just bow to yourself, and then inhale, come all the way up, catch a prayer, extend all the way up to the sky, and then bring that prayer back into your heart space and just reset. Find your Tadasana perhaps, or leave your hands in front of your heart if you would like. Reset to your intention. Are you observing yourself? And then inhale, arms up, really lovely, and slowly catch a prayer above your head and then melt all the way back down to the ground. Nice and slowly, thinking about folding from the hips. Find somewhere along the length of your legs to find a nice bracket point so you can get a nice flat back here. And then exhale, melt back down towards the ground. Bend your knees a lot. This time we're going to step our left foot back, keeping the right foot in a nice bent position. We're just going to be in a low lunge. Again, you can keep your knee lifted or you can put it back down onto the mat. And we just want to really let that left hip flexor open up. We want to keep facing forward, so we don't necessarily want to be bowing our heads in this posture. We want to keep the energy moving forwards and not down towards the ground. Keep your right foot planted, keep your hands planted, or perhaps come up onto your fists. And then now we're going to lower ourselves down again, knees, chest, chin, and then slide yourself forward into that baby cobra. And hold yourself there, lovely little back bend. We've got to really take a lot of importance in the back bends in this sequence because we've got a lot of forward folding. So we want to have a balanced practice. And that means really taking the time to concentrate on our back bends. Push ourselves back into that nice active child's pose once more. Again, flipping your toes over so that we're opening up the bottoms of our feet, really keeping your hands nice and spread, anchored down onto the ground. So you've got that resistance again, and you can feel a lovely long line all the way from your middle finger down to just below your rib cage. You should be feeling a really lovely opening. If you want to take that to the next level, then pop your wrists up off of the ground, anchor your fingertips down, and then you may even get more of an extreme stretch with this, but really go easy with yourself. We're still at the beginning of our practice. This is a great place, a really lovely posture that's open to you at any time through our practice. If at any time you've just had enough and you just want to focus on your breath and just be nice and calm, then come down into child's pose or any form of it that you would like. And then we're just going to come up into a really quick downward facing dog, come all the way up onto our tiptoes to kitty cat walk our feet all the way to meet our hands. Really generous forward fold here with bent knees, and then inhale, come all the way up. Perhaps bring in a little bit of a back bend here, but if not, then just bring your prayer in front of your heart center and find your Tadasana, your mountain pose, from which all other postures come from. Feel the sensations you may be feeling in your body right now, your heartbeat, the sound of your breath, sensation between your hands in the prayer. Inhale, your arms up, third round. And exhale, come down into that really generous forward fold here. Bent knees is absolutely fine. Find somewhere along the length of your legs to make the bracket. And then come back into our low lunges. Again, you can keep your knee lifted or you can bring your knee down onto the ground. Really make sure those right back toes are nice and grounded. Okay, then come into a plank posture. We're going to just step our left foot back, come into a nice plank posture here. So my plank posture, upon looking back, it could have been a little bit longer. So in reality, I should have maybe stepped my feet back a little bit. And then lower yourself all the way down to the ground or come down to knees, chest, chin once again. Slide your feet away, come up into Sphinx posture. So in this Sphinx posture, we're going to have our elbows underneath our shoulders. Bring your elbows quite tightly in towards your torso, and this is a really nice restorative back bend, but nonetheless it's a very good posture if you've got lower back pain, or if you have anything that you need to be opening your chest for. And then pop yourself back into this child's pose for a second, just to pop up into downward facing dog. So keep moving in this downward facing dog. Bend your knees quite a lot like I have here, because the aim of the game is to have a straight back and not straight legs. So if your if your heels are coming off of the ground, that is absolutely fine, as long as you feel like you've got a lovely long straight back here. If you want to keep treading from one foot to the other, so bending one knee quite generously and then bending the other knee quite generously, go ahead and do that. This is your yoga pose. I need you to find what feels good. I need you to find what feels appropriate for you at that moment. You know, like I said before, we don't want pain, but we do want to become comfortable with discomfort. We want to be tucking in our lower tummies here. And then do a nice joyful hop all the way to the top of your mat if you want. If not, then come back into those kitty cat walks and come all the way back up to the top of your mat. And then inhale, find yourself all the way back at the top of your mat with your prayer above your head. Bring your elbows in this time to really open up the backs of your shoulders after we've just done quite a bit of weight bearing on them. Lovely. And then come back to your lovely prayer posture. And then do anything here that you would like to open up your shoulders. I understand that we've been doing quite a little bit there, moving through with bearing weight on our wrists. So if you want to come back into this nice easy stretch, this nice easy opening for your shoulders, then go for it. If you'd like to stretch out your hands a little bit, if you're not used to putting so much weight onto your hands, then go for it. Anything here, this is yogi's choice moment in between postures. Whatever feels good for you right now, I encourage you to lean into. Good, so come back to the tops of your mats. Reconnect with your intention. Inhale, arms up. Perfect. Catch the prayer. Waterfall all the way down. This time try to work with a little bit more straight legs. Lovely. Come into that bracket position. Lovely flat back. Exhale, come all the way down. We're going to step the left foot back into our low lunge for our fourth round of Surya Namaskar. Notice how this feels in comparison to the first one. And again, you really can have your knee down. You absolutely don't need to have your knee off the ground. Perhaps you'd like to come up onto your fist like this. Maybe you'd find that a little bit easier. And then we're going to step the right foot back into a plank posture. Hold this position, tummy button in. Knees down, knees, chest, chin, come all the way down, slide into your baby cobra once more. Notice how this back bend feels. Are you feeling like you're getting it a little bit more now? You're feeling nice and open in your chest, your heart flying forwards. And then exhale, come down. Push yourself all the way back through child's pose. Pop up into downward facing dog and come into quite a short one. Just to be nice and generous with ourselves here. And then same thing again, we're just going to work into this downward facing dog by stepping our way into one foot, then into the other foot. Nothing too major here, we're just opening up the body, waking up the body. See if you can find a little bit of stillness and let the backs of your legs open up. Make sure you're breathing, coming all the way to the end of your exhales. And then our joyful jump, lovely. You'll probably want to get a little bit higher than me though. Bend, lovely forward fold, inhale, come all the way up, catch a prayer above your head and bring it down into your heart center. Lovely. Excellent work so far, guys. I love it. We're doing really, really well. This is just a really gentle body opening. Now we're going to start to work on our forward folds. Bring your hands into prayer, namaskar. Maybe you want to do some little finger exercises like I'm doing here. Lovely. Reconnect to your intention as we move on to the next part of our... Maybe roll your wrists a few times one way, a few times then the other way. Inhale, arms up. Perfect. Right. Feet hip width distance apart. Bring your hands onto the backs of your hips like so. Bring your elbows in a little bit closer than what mine are there. And we're just going to forward fold. We want to get our peace fingers and loop them around our big toes. So bend your legs quite generously to get there. And then you want to work towards straightening. So again, we want our lower abdomen to be resting on our thighs and pushing ourselves in. And then from there, being stuck to our thighs like that, then we want to start to think about the lengthening. Use your elbows coming out to the side to pull you down towards your toes. And if that isn't very comfortable, then you can put your hands anywhere else along the length of your legs. But I quite like the peace fingers around the toes. And hold for at least 5 breaths, I would say. Let your head be heavy. Maybe you want to shake your head no or nod your head yes. And then now we're going to take this to the next step. So stay where you are if that's enough for you. But if you want to come to the next step with me, then we want to be putting our hands underneath our feet. So you put your big toes so that they touch your wrist. And then here, bend your legs quite generously again so that you can super glue your lower abdomen to your thighs. and then fold. But no worries if that isn't for you today. Not every day is everyone as flexible as they were the last day, the day before. So if you've just got your hands wrapped around your ankles, or perhaps even supporting you with your hands above your knees, then go for it. And have your legs bent as much as you need to, but be aware that you don't want to get too comfortable in being comfortable. We want a little bit of discomfort to grow, don't we? So inhale, find your way to come all the way back up. Find out if you've got a lovely little smile on your face like I did just then. Make any adjustments that you need to. Have a little moment of yogi freedom, yogi choice. Rub your hands together so that you get some heat in between your hands, and then rub, and then just place your palms over your hands and take a deep inhale. And then find your prayer and bring it into your heart center. Now we're going to start to work on our balance in a really accessible way. Start to put a lot of weight on your left foot and then come through the toe all the way onto the tippy toes, and then start to lift your foot off the ground. You want to flex your foot, point your foot, flex your foot, just to make sure that you've got your balance. Keep a smile. And then put all of your weight onto your right foot, and then come through the left foot. Bring your knee up, point your toe, flex your foot, point your toe, flex your foot, point your toe, flex your foot. Find a drishti point, a gaze point that allows you to be completely absorbed in the balance. Take a nice deep breath, and we're going to do the same thing again, but this time with external rotation. So put all of your weight into your left leg. Start to slide your right foot up the left leg. Find your first base point, checkpoint. Check in with your hips. Ideally, you want your hips to be nice and level. Maybe you just keep your big toe connected to the ground with your heel on the bottom of your calf, or maybe you slide it all the way up and you bring your heel right up to your groin area so that you're in tree. You're going to fall out a few times, especially on windy days, but the main thing is that we just keep trying, keep returning to that focus point, knowing that it's there, knowing that we have this lovely anchor point that is our focus, that is our inner peace, our inner Zen garden. Let's try the other side, shall we? Put all the weight into your right foot. Start to turn your left knee out. Start to slide your foot all the way up your right leg. Find your first checkpoint, and then perhaps you bring your foot up into your groin and you come into this quite challenging version of tree. Do whatever version of it makes you happy today, that you find a little bit of joy. And you're going to fall out. But what matters is you just keep trying, you keep coming back, you restart, you reset appropriately, check in with your hips, check in with your lower abdomen, and then just find whatever point is going to work for you today. What's your inner narrative? How are you speaking to yourself when you're falling out? Come back to center, reconnect with your intention, come to the tops of your mats, and then we're just going to get ourselves all the way down to the ground. So really generously, we're going to inhale our arms up. Lovely, and then come all the way down through our chair posture once again, and we're going to set ourselves down all the way onto our backs without using our hands, just purely our strengths. And then as soon as you get down onto your back, let yourself just relax, palms facing up towards the sky, and let everything just relax. Let gravity do its thing. You have certainly earned a lovely little lie down now. We're going to bring our right foot up into our hand. We're going to externally rotate, and we're just going to start to open up that hip. So try to keep the left foot in line with your hip, so we don't want to externally rotate that leg. We want to keep everything really nice and in line so that the right side can really feel like that it can open up. Good. And then let's take the left foot. This is like a half happy baby posture. So if you're aware of that, then you know what we're doing with this. But you want to be pulling down with your left hand on your left foot. You want to be pulling it down if you can, and then also kind of kicking up into your foot, into your hand too. Lovely. Excellent. Now come up into a tiny little tuck position. Point your toes perhaps, flex your feet perhaps, but whatever you're doing with your feet, make it a conscious decision. Maybe rock from side to side, give your lower back a nice massage. Keep pulling your tummy muscles in though, so that you've got a lot of room to fold, so that your lower abdomen and your whole tummy area can be glued to your thighs. Keep rolling from side to side. And now rock and roll all the way up to sitting, and hold it there and balance. Put your feet down onto the ground, yeah. Woo, rock and roll backwards and up, hold it there, and backwards and up, hold it there, backwards and up, and let your feet come down. Very cool. Well done, everyone. Okay, now we're going to come into Dandasana, which is staff pose. So we want our legs out in front of us as much as we can, with our legs straight if possible, using our hands to support our spine so that we can erect nice and tall. Flex your feet, take your eyes down and have a look at your big toes. That's your drishti point, and this might be enough. This is definitely more than enough at times. Just holding this posture, it's very good for building strength, back strength, core strength, leg strength. This posture, if you hold it for long enough, you're really firing up a lot of those key muscles. And now we're going to start to fold. Again, take those peace fingers and fold them over your big toes. And start to feel like you're folding along your legs. We want to be feeling like we're working our way towards our toes and not towards our knees. So again, we want to be keeping that length. But don't be too tough on yourselves. This can be quite a difficult posture. Get your flesh out the way if you need to, if you feel like you can get a little bit more of a fold there. And if you want to turn this into a nice restorative posture, then just let your back be nice and rounded, let your head come down, and even bring your elbows onto the ground next to you and just flop into it. And now we're going to come into a little twist over to the right side, over to the left side. Keep your feet nice and flexed if you can. And over to the right side once again. Lovely. Come all the way back, and now we're just going to lift our seat off of the ground. You can come into the straight version, or you can come into this tabletop version, reverse tabletop version. Lovely. Whichever one floats your boat. Nice. Get your seat down. Perfect, well done. Scoot yourself down onto your back once again. Brush the backs of your heels with your fingertips. Pull your tummy button in towards your spine. Start to roll your pelvis away from you and towards you. So imagine you're in Pilates and we're just warming up the pelvis. So we're bringing our tailbone towards us and then pushing it away from us. Now we're just going to start to work into a bridge posture. First of all, we're just going to work with 20% lift, let's say. So it's nice and easy, nice and comfortable. Our lower backs should be feeling quite nice and open and strong after all of the work we've been doing on them so far. And then whenever you feel like lifting yourself off again into bridge posture, come up into about a 50% lift. And then hold it there for as long as you can. As long as you're breathing, then everything should be all gravy. And start to lower yourself down. Lovely. And just take a few breaths here. Arms up and over. Create a nice little basket to put your head with your hands. And now we're just going to come into some twists. So don't look over the opposite way at the moment. We're just going to let our knees fall over to the right side. Keep your gaze facing upwards or your eyes closed perhaps. Keep your feet in the same position, so don't slide them away from you, don't slide them in towards you, and just let your knees be the heavy weight that pulls you over. And then inhale, come through center, let your knees roll over to the left side. Again, we're not letting our feet slide around too much. We want to keep them where they are. Reconnect to your intention here. How are you feeling? So have a quick body scan. You should be feeling a lovely, lovely long stretch along that right side of your body. Maybe wiggle your toes just to keep everything nice and awake. Inhale, come all the way over to the knees, over to the right side once more, and now look over to the left so that you've got the full spinal twist. Inhale, knees through the center, over to the left side, gaze over to the right side. Maybe wiggle your fingers behind your head just to make sure that they're still alive, but still try and make sure that you've got that little basket for your head to be held in. Inhale, knees up, put your feet as wide as your mat, let your knees knock in together and let the weight of each knee just to support. Bring your hands out in front of you, bring your arms out to a T shape and bring them back up in front of your heart. Touch the palms for a moment. Extend your palms up towards the sky and then open out to that lovely T shape once again. Inhale, bring your palms back to touch. Lovely. And then inhale, we're going to take them up over our head. Bend your arms whenever it feels like an appropriate thing to do. Again, we want to just cut discomfort and not pain. Gently tap your hands down onto the ground and then bring them all the way back over again. Almost like you were going to slice yourself in half. Bring your hands back into this cactus shape on the ground now, and almost like you're doing presses at the gym with your arms bent from the elbows. Knees are still doing nothing, just hanging out, supporting each other. Now what we're going to do something really fun, a really nice restorative inversion. Layer your hands one on top of the other underneath your seat here and find that point where it feels, oh, this is quite comfortable, and then your feet can just kind of ping up into the air, and then all of a sudden you're in this lovely supported legs up in the air position. And this is great for digestion, so after you've eaten it's really good to do Really good to do last thing at night. Also, good thing to rebalance hormones. If you're feeling particularly anxious, this is also a very good one to do. You could do legs up the wall. So this posture, but imagine my legs are being supported by the wall and not by my hands underneath my seat. You may have already started to close your eyes because you know the direction that we're headed in. We're on a clean run now, nearly at Shavasana, nearly at the point in which why everyone goes to yoga in the end, Shavasana. But for now, just enjoy this lovely, lovely restorative inversion. Now bend your knees in towards you. Start to set yourself up for Shavasana. So slide your legs away from you. Make sure that you're comfortable with the space that you're in at the moment. Let your arms come quite far away from your body, palms facing up towards the sky. Let your feet flop out away from each other, and Shavasana. Let your breathing return to normal. Do a body scan all the way from the tips of your toes, the balls of your feet, the arches of your feet, your heels, your ankles, your calf muscles relaxed, the backs of your knees, the fronts of your knees, your hamstrings, your quads relaxed, your pelvis, your groin, your lower abdomen, your diaphragm, your intercostal muscles relaxed, your heart, your chest muscles, your shoulders relaxed, your neck, your chin, your jaw, your cheeks, brows relaxed, your biceps, your triceps, your forearms, your wrists relaxed, your little finger, your ring finger, middle finger, index finger, thumb relaxed, the palms of your hands relaxed, your ears relaxed, the back of your head relaxed. Let your thoughts come and go. Do not attach yourself to anything. You don't need to do anything right this second. All you need to do right now is be in peace in Shavasana and let your body process all of the hard work that we've done today with stillness. Let our parasympathetic nervous system switch on, rest and digest. Let yourself enjoy this moment for yourself. Maybe start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, rotate your wrists, rotate your ankles. Bring your prayer back into your heart center. Tuck your knees into your chest. Do not use your hands to support you. Point your toes, flex your feet. Point your toes, flex your feet. Start to bring some strength and some vitality back into your extremities. Lovely. Then rock and roll all the way back up to seated again. Find a nice comfortable seat and we're just going to see how we feel sitting still for a while. Just move through all of this lovely movement. We've had Shavasana. We should be in a perfect place to attempt to sit in meditation for a few moments. Body should be still, mind should be quiet. Let your thoughts come and go. Feel the warmth between your palms, feel your heartbeat. Make sure you're sitting up nice and tall still. Find that space in you that only you possess. It's yours. Reclaim it, strengthen it, widen it, develop it. You deserve it. Bring your prayer up towards your third eye. Cover your face with your hands. Bring yourself back to prayer. Bring a gentle smile to your face. Bring the backs of your palms on your knees, palms facing up towards the sky. Take some lovely deep breaths. Feel extremely proud of yourself that you have taken the time to dedicate to your physical, mental wellness. And then shake it off, find some joy, do anything that you like now. Yogi's choice, you are officially free from my grasp, and have a lovely, lovely day. Thank you so much for practicing with me.